Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Pulp Fiction, which came out in 1994. There are going to be some spoilers ahead, so beware and keep watch. The film opens with a scene in a restaurant where a couple, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, are discussing their future plans. Pumpkin expresses a desire to leave the world of violence and cruelty, but Honey Bunny mocks him. They then decide to rob the restaurant. As there are no guards present, they pick up their guns and point them at the people sitting in the restaurant. In the next scene, two shooters, Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega, appear in a building. They are discussing a girl named Mia, who is actually the wife of Marcellus, a gangster. Jules tells Vincent the story of a man named Tony who was killed by Marcellus while he was giving Mia a foot massage. Vincent says that there must have been something else besides foot massage going on. Who killed someone over a foot massage? They both work for Marcel. Jules is telling him this story because Marcellus told Vincent to take his wife to dinner because he was going out of town for a few days. Now the two of them went to the front of an apartment, looking for some boys who were about to run away with Marcellus' gold. They both entered the apartment and met three boys. One of them was named Brad. Vincent yelled at them and asked where the bag was. Vincent found the bag, after which Jules shot Brad and one of his companions. The other companion, Marvin, was left alive. In the next scene, they go to Marcellus to give him his bag full of gold, where they have to wait there for a while. Marcellus talks to a boxer, Butch. Marcellus tells Butch that he will pay him a sum of money if he agrees to lose the fight. Butch reluctantly agrees, and the deal is done. In the next scene, Vincent arrives at his friend's Lance's house to pick up heroin. Vincent takes a dose of the drug and goes to Mia's house. Mia tells him to wait a while and take some drinks. Until then, Mia takes a dose of cocaine and the two of them go out for dinner. They went to a retro-themed sports bar where the tables were made out of beautiful cars. At the restaurant, they order food and drinks. Vincent gives Mia a special roll of tobacco, which is a kind of cigarette. Vincent asks Mia why Marcellus killed Tony. She tells Vincent that she only met Tony at her wedding, and that the story is only between Tony and Marcellus. Marcellus killed Tony for some other reason, and made up the story about the foot massage to cover it up. Now, a dance competition is announced in this restaurant in which both participate. And when they win, they both get a trophy. Now both of them come here. Mia is very happy as she plays music, and Vincent goes to the washroom and gets a little nervous. Now Mia is wearing Vincent's coat and finds a packet of white powder. In the pocket, she assumes it is cocaine and takes an overdose, which makes her faint. Vincent comes out of the washroom and sees Mia unconscious, so she takes her to Lance, who is his friend, after which the two bring Mia inside the house. Mia is given an injection shot, which wakes her up. Now they return to Mia's house, and Vincent tells her not to tell Marcellus about what happened. Mia says that if she does, she will have more problems. Mia promises Vincent that she will not tell Marcellus anything. In the next scene, we see Butch thinking about his childhood. His uncle, who is a captain, comes to see him and gives him a golden watch. Now Captain Coons tells the story of the watch that his great-grandfather bought during World War I. He later gave the watch to his son Dane, who fought in World War II. Knowing he may not survive, he gave the watch to his colleague, who in turn gave it to Dane's wife and son, who was Butch's father. Butch's father later participated in the Vietnam War, but was captured by Vietnamese soldiers. Now he hides the watch inside himself, which causes his death. Now they give the watch to Captain Coons, who hides it in his own body. After being released, he gives it to Butch. The film now returns to the present. Bach is preparing to go to the fight ring, and he has to lose that match because he had a deal with Marcellus. But he wins the match, and he also kills the fighter. Butch had already planned to move to a new house and told his girlfriend to pack their belongings. However, the next day, he realized that his golden watch was left behind. Butch went back to the old house to retrieve his watch when he saw a gun on the floor and heard the sound of flushing from the toilet. He picked up the gun and walked toward the bathroom. When Vincent came out, Butch thought Vincent was there to find Butch, so Butch fired at him. Vincent died right there. Butch picked up his gold watch and left to return to his new home. But on the way, he saw Marcellus, and he was crossing the road. Butch now hit Marcellus without hesitation, but then a car collided with his car, injuring him badly. He got out of the car and saw that Marcellus was alive and that he was coming to kill him. He begins to flee the scene and arrives at a hardware store. Marcellus arrives at the shop as well, and the two engage in a fight that leaves them both injured. The shopkeeper then pulls out a shotgun and takes aim at both. He leads them to a storeroom in the basement and ties them up. Another friend of the shopkeeper, Zed, arrives shortly thereafter. There is also another man, dressed in a black suit, who is being held against his will as a slave by the shopkeeper. His face is also covered with a mask. Zed takes Marcellus to a separate room to rape him, but leaving Butch with the slave. Butch attacks the slave and runs away, but as soon as he gets out, he decides to save Marcellus. There, he sees a sword. Butch takes the sword and goes to the storeroom, killing the shopkeeper. Marcellus also kills the shopkeeper's other friend, Zed. This is the kind of kindness that Butch does to Marcellus. Marcellus tells Butch that if he does not tell anyone about this incident, then the enmity between them may end. Butch agrees, and they both leave. Butch arrives at the hotel to pick up his girlfriend, and after that, the two leaves. Now, we are shown a flashback from earlier in the film. Jules and Vincent come to Brad's apartment to retrieve Marcellus' bag, and Juliet shoots Brad and his friend. However, there is another boy hiding in the bathroom, and he overhears their conversation. He came out armed and begins shooting at Jules and Vincent. However, his aim is weak, so Jules and Vincent survived. After that, Jules kills him. Jules gives thanks to God and decides to quit a life of crime. He and his accomplice, Vincent, get Marvin, their last companion, in the car and leave. But Vincent accidentally shoots Marvin, causing him to bleed to death. They arrive at the house of their friend, Jimmy, to hide the murder and the evidence. But Jimmy gets nervous, and they call for Marcellus. Marcellus understands the situation and sends a servant named Winston to Jules. He tells Vincent and Jules to change their clothes and take the car to a junkyard to dispose of it. Now that they have completed their business, Jules and Vincent go to the restaurant that was seen at the beginning of the film. Vincent tells Jules that he wants to leave the world of crime because of how much he has had to sacrifice. Vincent then goes to the washroom. In this film, whenever Vincent goes to the washroom, something bad happens to him. This happened once, when he went to Mia's house and she took an overdose of drugs. And then again, when he went to Butch's house, he was hit by Butch as soon as he left the washroom. Something similar happens here. This is the same scene where Pumpkin and Honey are armed and trying to rob a restaurant. Pumpkin comes to Jules and asks him to open the bag, and he gets shocked and frightened to see that it is full of gold. Seeing Pumpkin so terrified, Jules grabs him and points his gun at him. Honey sees Pumpkin in danger and points her own gun at Jules. Vincent comes out, effectively creating a standoff. Jules offers Pumpkin $1,500 to leave, and Pumpkin agrees. Afterward, he gives them $1,500 and resolves the situation. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. If you have a movie you'd like us to recap, let us know in the comments, and see you next time.